Verse 32, chapter 2 of Hatha Yoga Pradipika. Tritaka eradicates all eye diseases, fatigue, and sloth, and closes the doorway, creating these problems. It should be carefully kept secret like a golden casket. Tritaka benefits not only the eyes, but the whole range of physiological and mental functions. It is therapeutic in depression, insomnia, allergy, anxiety, postural problems, poor concentration, and memory. Its most important effect is on Ajna chakra and the brain. The Garada Samhita mentions that it promotes clairvoyance or perception of subtle manifestations. Tritaka is a process of concentrating the mind and curbing its oscillating tendencies. The purpose is to make the mind completely one-pointed and to arouse inner vision. One-pointed concentration of mind is called ekagrata. There are numerous distractions which obstruct ekagrata. In fact, distraction only occurs when the senses are tuned to the external world, which means an energy leakage is occurring. Association and identification through the eyes and sight are major contributing factors to this leakage. Furthermore, the eyes constantly move either in large movements, saccades or tremors, nystagmus. Even when the eyes are focused on an external object, the view perceived is always fluctuating because of these spontaneous movements. When the same object is constantly seen, the brain becomes accustomed or habituated and soon stops registering that object. Habituation coincides with an increase of alpha waves, indicating diminished visual attention to the external world. When they are produced, particular areas of the brain have ceased functioning. Vision depends not only on the eyes, but upon the entire optic tracts. The lens of the eye is only the medium of external visual perception. Via the lens, an image is projected onto the retina. This is a stimulus which excites the retina to fire impulses back to the visual cortex of the brain, where an inner image is mapped out. If you close your eyes and gently push and release them, you will also see flashes of light, not because light is entering the eyes, but because the optic nerve has been stimulated. When the image of an external object is stabilized on the retina, after a period of time, perception of the image will completely disappear and a suspension of the mental processes occur. In fact, if there is absolutely no visual stimulus, example, if you sit in a pitch black room or cover the eyes with opaque cups, after some time, the mind will just turn off, just as in sleep. Therefore, during the practice of Tritaka, it is essential to maintain the inner awareness so that when the mind is suspended, all that remains is the awareness. This is not only in relation to Tritaka, but in any practice of concentration. When the awareness is restricted to one unchanging sense stimulus, like touch or sound, the mind is turned off. Complete absorption in a single perception induces withdrawal of contact with the external world. In Tritaka, the result is a blanking out of visual perception, and in the wake of this suspension, the central nervous system begins to function in isolation. This experience is known by yogis as Sushumna awakening. Sushumna is that central column where our energy runs up and down. When the brain is isolated from the sense modalities and from the associated mental processes, ideas, memories, etc., triggered by these thought impressions, then the spiritual consciousness emerges. The higher brain, liberated from time and space, is experienced. Sushumna is awakened. The body must be firmly locked in a steady sitting asana being the physical shape, and the practice done in a quiet place, so that the distraction from other sense modalities will not interfere with the process of Tritaka. Tritaka unlocks the inherent energy of the mind and channelizes it to the dormant areas of consciousness. Yogi Swatmarama mentions the arousal of clairvoyance but other capacities such as telepathy, telekinesis, psychic healing, etc. can develop. Not only that, further results of one-pointedness of mind are strong willpower, improved memory, and concentrative ability. Physiologically, Tritaka relieves eye ailments such as eye strain and headache, myopia, astigmatism, and even early stages of cataract. The eyes become clear and bright, able to see the reality beyond appearances. So before we move on to verse 33, I'll just take a pause here. And if anybody has any questions or wants to say anything, I know for me, I've been meditating 20 minutes every day, mostly weekdays. I try to do weekends. I didn't this weekend. And in the sutra book that we read, they speak about this one-pointedness. And I know sometimes for me, I usually close my eyes when I'm meditating. And really when we're meditating, I know for me, my meditation practice is really a concentration practice. I'm not at the meditation level, I'm at the concentration level. So it's that constant practice of pulling my mind back. And usually my gaze, my Tritaka is inward, like whether it's my breath moving up and down my spine, or my third eye, or my heart center, wherever I choose to focus that day. So then when my mind starts running down my to-do list for the day, I can pull it back to that internal point in my body, whether it's my breath or an actual focus. I haven't really tried this external gazing that often or ever. So I'm almost wondering if I should just take, like, I'm looking at my altar. I have like this mandala rock that I got at the studio, and I have a few candles here and something that I could just like put in front of me and just focus on gazing at. And I think this is the practice that they're talking about. This one point, just pick one point. So if you don't have the candle at home, just pick one point wherever you're sitting and just concentrate on that. And this is the practice that we are building up to get into our meditation. So this was all the benefits that she just spoke about on this practice of Tritaka. Okay, I'll move on to verse 33, Nawali, abdominal massaging. So the author has already spoken about these practices in the beginning parts of the book, and some of these practices are not to be practiced at home unless you are under the guidance of a teacher. So Nawali, abdominal massaging. Lean forward, protrude the abdomen and rotate the muscles from right to left with speed. This is called Nawali by the Sittas. Nawali is the practice of contracting and isolating the rectal abdominal muscles. In the Garanda Samhita, it is known as luliki. The root word nala means the navel string, i.e. rectus abdomini muscles. It also means a tubular vessel. Luliki comes from the word lola, which means to roll or agitate. When the rectus abdomini muscles are rotated from left to right, anti-clockwise, it is called Dakshina Nawali. When they are rotated from right to left clockwise, that is Vama Nawali. When the muscles are pulled together and the middle group of muscles protrude, it is Madhyama Nawali. Before attempting Nawali, you must be able to perform Uddiyana Bandha properly. Uddiyana Bandha is the root lock. The rectus abdomini are the two long vertical muscles situated in front of the abdomen, which run from under the center of the rib cage near the diaphragm to the pubic bone. Though these are the muscles you are manipulating in Nawali, the external oblique and transverse abdomini are also utilized. At first, Nawali is practiced with the hands just above the knees and bent forward, and body bent forward. Once this is perfected, you can practice in a more erect position, hands placed on the upper thighs. Stage 1, Vama and Dakshini Nawali, left and right isolation. Stand with the feet 45 to 60 centimeters apart. Bend the knees and rest the palms of the hands just above the knees. Thumbs on the inside of the thighs, fingers touching the outside, or as shown in the diagram. Here's the diagram. And there are YouTube videos on this. So if you were interested in it later, you can Google this and you'll see the technique being practiced. Keep the head up and the eyes open. Breathe in deeply through the nose and exhale quickly through the mouth, slightly pursing the lips. Perform Jalahanda Bandha while maintaining Bahiranga Kumbhaka. Jalahanda Bandha is the throat lock, and Kumbhaka is that slight pause in between the inhales and exhale, the Kumbhaka. And I think this Bahiranga, the external one, is after the exhale. But I'd have to go back and double check this. Let me see. Yeah. So let's see. Suck the abdomen and stomach in by performing Uddiyana Bandha, which is that root lock again. It's like holding in the muscle that holds when you have to pee and you're trying to hold it in. Lift the right hand slightly off the knee, keeping all the pressure on the left hand and knee, but do not lean to the left side. This will automatically isolate the rectus abdomini muscles on the left. Then release Uddiyana Bandha. Oh, Uddiyana Bandha is the stomach lock, not the root lock. And this is like 2 inches above the belly button. Raise the head slowly, stand up and inhale slowly. This is Vama Nawali. Practice in the same way on the right side. Keep the right hand resting above the knee and slightly lift the left hand to isolate the rectus abdomini muscles on the right. This is Dakshini Nawali. In between each round of Nawali, release Uddiyana Bandha first, then Jalahanda. Raise the head, stand erect, and breathe in very slowly through the nose. Take a few normal breaths before practicing the next round. So we're not locking the root lock. I was confused on that. You were locking the stomach lock and the throat lock. Stage 2, Madhyama Nawali. Let me just share the screen again. Madhyama Nawali, central abdominal contraction. Practice Vama or Dakshini Nawali as in stage 1, and then start to roll the muscles to the other side. But before they reach the opposite side, hold them in the middle. In order to roll the muscles, slowly bring the weight back onto the hand, which was lifted from the knee. While holding the muscles in the center, both hands should rest above the knees. This is Madhyama Nawali. Stage 3. Practice in the same way as stages 1 and 2, but learn to control the contraction of the muscles and to isolate the muscle groups without lifting the hands from the legs. First, try by just releasing the pressure off the hand without moving it from the leg. Gradually begin to control the practice so that the hands remain fixed on the legs. Then practice with the hands on the upper thighs. Stage 4, abdominal rotation and churning. Stand in the same position as is in stage 1, keeping the hands on the legs above the knees throughout the whole practice. Practice Vama Nawali and then roll the muscles to the right and back to the left. Continue rotating the muscles in a clockwise direction. This is known as churning. Start by practicing it 3 times consecutively, then release. Practice Dashini Nawali in the same way, rotating the muscles anti-clockwise. When this training is perfected, practice it 3 times with Vamanali, then 3 times with Dakshina Nawali and release. When this is perfected, you can increase to 10 rotations, then 20 rotations. Stage 5. Practice stage 1 and 2, sitting in Siddhasana, Siddhi Yona Asana, with the buttocks raised slightly by a cushion. So Siddhasana and Siddhi Yona Asana are 2 shapes the author describes more toward the beginning of the book. You can also just sit in Sukhasana, easy seat, which is the shape like I would typically take, and I prop myself up on a block or something to get my hips above my knees. Initially, it will be difficult to control the muscles in the sitting position, so it is better to first perfect the practice of Nawali in the standing position. Verse 34. Nawali is foremost of the Hatha yoga practices. It kindles the digestive fire, removing indigestion, sluggish digestion, and all disorders of the doshas, and brings about happiness. Shatkarma, Shatkarma are these cleansing techniques, and asanas are the physical yoga practice, stimulate digestion, but Nawali is said to be the best for this. It quickly tones the abdominal muscles, nerves, intestines, reproductive, excretory, and urinary organs. In fact, there is not one part of the internal system which is not stimulated by this practice. When the abdominal muscles are manipulated, not only are they toned, but all the internal organs are massaged. Asana and pranayama being the breath work, practice definitely generates energy, but Nawali activates the system in a much shorter time with greater force. Its effects are particularly noticeable on the digestive and excretory systems. It generates heat in the body, stimulates digestion, assimilation, and absorption, thereby reducing excretion. It balances the endocrine system and helps control the production of sex hormones. Nawali is especially useful for alleviating constipation, indigestion, nervous diarrhea, acidity, flatulence, depression, hormonal imbalances, sexual and urinary disorders, laziness, dullness, lack of energy, and emotional disturbances. Through its practice, one can control one's appetite and sensual desires and strengthens one's willpower. If this can be attained, the practitioner will definitely find deeper satisfaction within. However, Nawali cannot be practiced by everyone. Those who are suffering from heart disease, hypertension, hernia, gastric or duodenal ulcers, or who are recovering from some internal injury or abdomen surgery cannot do it. I just want to pause there. I think Sarah had to drop because of her classroom. Are you okay for me to keep going? Or do you want to pause, Alexandra? You're on mute. Hold on. I can't unmute you.
Whatever you want to do is fine with me.
Okay, I'll read one more and then we can see. Well, let me see. Let me see how long this one is. Maybe this one's kind of long, so maybe we wait till tomorrow so we can have everyone else catch up and we can just start our meditation and breath now. Okay. And we'll end on time. Sometimes we go over, so we'll make up time. We'll pay ourselves time back. Oh, you're on mute again.
20 minutes of meditation, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, first we'll do breath. You want to do some alternate nostril breathing? Yeah. We can also do 2-to-1 breathing. That's something that always helps me with anxiety. Another thing that helps me with anxiety is legs at the wall. So that might be something, well, you play with it. I don't want to make it worse for you today, but just things that help me are when you come over to the wall
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with legs at the wall?
No.
So you bring your hips as close to the wall as you can get them.
Oh, you mean put your legs up the wall?
Yeah,
Against
and you slide up like this. And
Yeah.
sometimes I do my meditation like that.
Okay.
It's calming for me. And sometimes I'll put like a lavender oil on. That's also very calming for me. But what works for me may not work for you. Like, you don't want to make your anxiety worse. But yeah, the 2-to-1 breathing is really helpful for me. So we'll do that, and then we'll do alternate nostril breathing, and then we'll go into our meditation. So just beginning to breathe in and out through the nose, finding that straight, strong spine. Choosing to keep your eyes open, fixing the gaze on something, or closing your eyes, bringing the gaze inward. Relaxing the shoulders, the palms of the hands. Choosing if you want your palms face down or face up. Just watching the breath move in through the nostrils, down to the low belly, really expanding the belly button out as you inhale. And then exhale, pull the belly button in, watch the air move up the spine, out through the nostrils. And see if you can make the breath equal. So breathe in for 3 or 4 counts, and then breathe out for 3 or 4 counts. Just really beginning to lengthen and deepen the breath. You might hear the breath become audible at the back of the throat, welcoming you slight ujjayi breath into the practice, restriction of the breath at the back of the throat. Almost sounds like waves in the ocean. And then if you want to practice the 2-to-1 breathing, you'll make the exhale double the inhale. So you'll inhale for 3 counts. And you'll slow the exhale down, letting go for 6 counts. Now inhale for 3. Exhale for 6. You'll do this on your own breath for 8 rounds of breathing. Then we'll move into our alternate nostril breathing. Your right hand will come over your nose. You'll close your right nostril with your right thumb and your left nostril with your right ring finger. Closing off your right nostril, inhale through your left. Close left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. Inhale left. Close left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. Inhale left. Close left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. Inhale left. Close left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. 4 more rounds on your own breath. Taking your time to finish, I'm going to set the timer for 20 minutes. Make sure you exhale out through the left nostril. And then setting up for your meditation. You might choose to work with that gaze internally or externally, setting up which shape feels good for you to practice in this morning. Setting your intention for your meditation. Bringing hands together in front of your heart. Namaste. Thank
was-
you so much.
You're welcome. It was very difficult for me to hold the position and breathe.
The legs at the wall?
No, just my spine straight.
Oh, yeah.
Is it because of the anxiety or fatigue or what?
It could be. It could.
It was very difficult for me to stay in the pose and to keep breathing.
Yeah. I mean, it could be also the seat you're in. Sometimes I have a hard time on the couch. I like maybe like a firm chair or the couch, but it could just be a rough Monday morning for you. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Okay.
I think just honoring that you had a tough time and being nice to yourself all day today. And I'll send you some love from here.
Thank you. Likewise. Right back at you. Thank you.
All right. Have a nice day.
You too. Bye.